Hi, everybody. On this Monday, I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist Bob Max, and just a quick check-in today to take you through what occurred, of course, in the last 24 to 36 hours, but also to look ahead to the next 3 to 5, 7 days, even 10 days. As we do have some changes, it's a very busy time of year, and there's so much that has to be done. First of all, happy Hanukkah, those who celebrate. Now, for the next, it's 8. It's 8 nights, right? Yeah. And then, of course, we have Christmas next week. And a lot going on. So it's a busy time of year. And the one thing we we hope that won't happen is that we get some huge impactful storm that really messes up plans, messes up holiday gatherings and that sort of thing. So that's something we'll be, of course, diving into. But like we do every morning, we'll start you off with the rundown. Bitter cold start to the week. It is not very nice outside. It's bright. It looks inviting. You step outside and the wind chills are still hanging around 0. Slow moderation coming, though. We're going to see each day get a little bit milder, which is nice. For years, we've called storms this time of year that bring warmth and rain. We call them Grinch storms because it takes away from the beauty that we have out there right now. A warm, showery system coming at us for later Thursday night into the day on Friday. I also love to share the amazing talent that so many of our viewers have. In this case, it's just simple photography, but I love when they share how beautiful nature can be. And this is from Tom out there in Lake Pocatapog. I just love saying that. I'll put Tom's pictures up just because it's fun to say Lake Pocatapog in East Hampton. Freezing over, frozen over, looking cold, sunrise. That is one cold sunrise. And Theo is not going to be outdone up in Lakeville, where the temperature fell down to about 2 or 3 above and the wind was blowing. Driving into work this morning, that last crescent moon was very low to the horizon at about 3 a.m. But you can see as the sun comes up closer to 7, the moon is higher in the sky. So we'll still have that crescent moon leading the sun up for the next couple of days before we go to the new moon phase. So Theo in cold Lakeville, where the wind chill was down around 10, 11, 12 degrees below 0 this morning. I also love to share pictures, during or just after a snow event, like this particular shot from Robin in Shelton. Wow. And that's what we talk about, Courier and Ives situation. Fluffy snow on the order of about 3 inches in Shelton. It made for, some tricky travel for sure. And even early this morning, we had some black ice form after the cleanup. The wind really started blowing during the overnight as expected. It moved some of this light kind of powdery snow back onto some road surfaces, parking lots, and sidewalks. So that wasn't exactly fun. And Robin also shared this, and I'm a bird nerd. I self-admit I am a bird nerd. And there's a beautiful male cardinal getting some seed. Remember, the natural food sources are covered in snow, so the birds, they do need our help from time to time. They still can get berries and stuff like that. And you have to be careful, with bears around. Even seems like bears don't hibernate anymore. They're always looking for food, but that doesn't seem natural, right? That's strange. But that's a beautiful example of a cardinal. Okay, so that's some pretty stuff indeed. Sean says it's 23 on my weather station in Seymour. Thanks for checking in, Sean. And that makes sense. Temperatures will move up into the 20s to near 30. It's just that biting wind gets you, and it feels colder than the air temperatures. And Stephen in Berlin says 20 degrees. And we say congratulations to Berlin High School. They're one of the 6 state champions that were crowned. I don't remember exactly who they played. I should remember that stuff, I suppose. But they did win their state championship game, so that's kind of cool. So forecast. Let's talk about it. Because first up, we have the wind, which is blowing around. We'll get to the current wind gusts here in a second. I thought I had them queued up. Nope, I missed them. So let me back out of this real quick. I can make adjustments on the fly. It's what we do sometimes. Sometimes you just have to. And I forgot to click on that wind gust map. So if you're heading out, and I know I got to get out of here pretty soon. I got a lot of things to do. Busy time of year. Got to do some shopping. Let's talk about the current wind gusts at our airports. And yeah, it hurts. The airports are in open expanses, right? Because y'all land a plane. There's nothing really to knock the wind down. It's cold wind. It's gusting 1,000 feet above sea level. Waterbury Oxford Airport, 28 mile per hour winds. Chester down by the river, 30 mile per hour winds. Groton and New London gusting to 30. So is Stonington. So is Block Island, 23. Look at that. Greenwich, 31 miles per hour. That is no fun. So the storm that brought us the 1 to 4 or 5 inches of snow is now way out, and heading out toward Nova Scotia and past that. But it's become very strong. We have a big dominating area of high pressure building down across the Great Lakes. And it's that difference in atmospheric pressure creates these, biting winds. And it is the coldest we've felt so far. Well, I say so far this winter. Winter doesn't, I know, astronomically, it arrives on Sunday. Meteorologically, we always say it arrives on December 1st. Okay, so look at these winds. They're going to increase a little bit. Then they start to decrease as the sun goes down in the western sky early this afternoon, late this afternoon, but these are some of the earliest sunsets of the year. I believe they're actually, I get so confused. Length of day stuff is just, we're coming up on the shortest days as far as daylight. But as that sun goes down during the afternoon, the winds will also start to relax, and that is certainly welcomed news. So let's jump into future radar. I'm happy to report there's not much to report. Watch, sun and clouds mix today. As the winds start to relax, we'll have partly cloudy skies tonight. Notice here, though, this is kind of interesting, caught my eye, and it's not out of the question this could happen. But sometimes when you get a west to northwest wind, we'll have a shifting breeze, cold, right? Arctic in nature. Long Island Sound can create its own little band of snow. We've seen this on occasion. So there could be some flurries on Fisher's Island or Block Island. Isn't that kind of interesting? An ocean effect can happen up here on Cape Cod all the time, right? It's like lake effect, but that's on a northerly wind. But as the winds change direction to a more westerly breeze, it can snow just off the coast of Groton, New London. That's always kind of cool to see. And some of this high resolution model data finds that, which is kind of cool. Get rid of that line. Okay, there's sunshine for your day tomorrow. Less wind, slightly milder temperatures, but that's the key to the forecast, that each day it gets a little milder. Good morning to Aaron. What is Aaron Boburn? That's not your name, Aaron Clark. Don says it was 14 in Enfield this morning. Yeah, it was cold, Don. It sure was. Hey, Quentin, thank you. Good morning to you. I hope you have a wonderful day as well. Hey, I said no snow, but I did get out and try to plow. Hank, you can say no snow all you want. Nature's going to do what nature's going to do. And it was a fluffy and very pretty snow. Back to future radar. You can see just passing clouds from time to time as we go through the day tomorrow into tomorrow night and Wednesday. There's no real big threats to our weather. So that in its own right is good news. So tomorrow's planner is, or today's planner, temperatures only mid to upper 20s. We're supposed to be around 40, 41 degrees for a high temperature, but December's been remarkably cold and sustained cold, and that's the issue today. It's a cold one. And with the wind, of course, it feels colder. I did get an email today. I won't read it to you, but it's just someone who just felt it like going on a rant about how when we talk about wind chill or feels like temperatures, we're just trying to sell clothes and scare people. It's a scientific equation, how the cold wind steals the warmth of our body and makes our skin feel colder. It's an equation. It's not made up. It's not some marketing tool. It's factual, and it feels pretty cold today. And if you're a crossing guard or you're working out at a construction site, it is really cold, and it steals your heat. You got to find time to get inside. So yeah, we're just making it all up. You should read my email. There's your temperatures today. Northwest 15 to 25 miles per hour, cold and windy today. And tomorrow, lots of sun, less wind, feeling better, passing clouds, temps 30 to 36 tomorrow. So we're trying to return to some normalcy, and we'll get there. All right, but let's talk about this Grinch storm, because it's a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Yeah, Hank, we do live in New England. You got to just deal with it. Yep. As you well, I didn't show the comments. I forgot I can show the comments. It's Monday, and it was a very long weekend. Yep. We all live in New England, so suck it up. Let's talk about this Grinch storm. It comes in storm tracks here. See if I can. Yeah, I can do this. We have a storm that's going to be what we call a Lakes Cutter. And when what happens there is when a storm goes up through the Great Lakes out here, it brings a southerly wind with it. We have a frontal boundary, southerly wind, and we call it a Grinch storm. The system, of course, over the weekend was way down here. And that's why it snowed and the cold was locked in, and it snowed right down to Long Island Sound. So the track of a storm is everything. And yeah, I don't like these, but can't change them. It's going to be a Lakes Cutter. So look at the temperatures associated with this. And I know they're kind of small, but they're in the 50s. 30s out to the west because the cold air rushes in behind the system. So sometimes we can get a Lakes Cutter that goes up here and then get a secondary development here. That's not going to be the case this time around. So instead, we just get warm. But as the storm wraps up, it usually can and will wrap in some colder air. So there's a chance the rain could end to some snow, but I'm never a big fan of this wraparound stuff. In Connecticut, it can happen in the Berkshires, it can happen in the greens and whites, and it can happen in upstate New York, but it's really hard for it to happen in Connecticut. It takes a special setup. Then there's this, the 8 to 14 day forecast. And this obviously has a very strong signal of above normal temperatures going right through the Christmas holiday. Excuse me. I mean, just a big ridge of high pressure. 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s from north to south across the lower 48. But wait a minute. Before you get too fired up, let's look at Connecticut. Not as warm, at least the signal or the data supports. You got to remember, there is a lot of snow cover in Canada and northern New England and now here. It takes a particular setup to get warmth in here, and it's happened. I can remember driving a convertible on the beach in New Hampshire on Christmas Day once. It was 65 degrees. It was crazy. But in this particular case, it doesn't look like the warm air will get in here. So maybe some sort of boundary sets up. And we talked about this a little bit last week. All it takes is little areas of low pressure to form on a front, and we've got ourselves unsettled weather. So we're going to have to watch for potential storminess. Well, the rest of the country sort of bakes. 7 degrees in the Sterling, says Joanne, and it felt like 0. Yeah, it probably was even colder than that, Joanne. It was nasty. Quentin, that could be the case. Warmth and the cold, stubborn air gets stuck in place, and the warm air rides up over it. We can get mixed precipitation events. We get rain, we can get snow, we can get ice, some sleet. Yeah, this can be a time when it's not the best of setups. It is what it is. We just try to project going out that far. Okay, we're talking about next week. A lot of people really want to know. And there's Hank's comment and Aaron's comment. And we say good morning to everybody. Matthew says, any ice storms on the horizon? Ice storms are so particular. And then we're going out, this is 7 to 10 to 14 days out into the forecast. Let's just pump the brakes. The setup is weird and interesting, but we don't have to start talking about the type of precipitation 10 to 14 days into the future, because that's virtually impossible to do. All right. I already have people asking about some on our app. We touch the app. We've put our forecast into the app, but when you get out today's 9:10, sometimes the algorithms just take over, and it has 1 to 3 inches of snow here on like Christmas Eve, and people are getting excited. And there's just no way we can really project that. We'll go in and maybe clean it up. So I can't say there's any ice on the horizon. This stinks. I was in North Carolina this weekend and it was freezing. And of course, I'm leaving. It's going to warm up. Eric, that's the way the cookie crumbles, as Ted Lasso might say. That is what weather does. Weather's going to do what weather's going to do. You just picked a tough time to be in North Carolina. Jim asks, what's it look like for a white Christmas for Southeast Connecticut? I know it's white right now, but it ain't going to be white much longer because of that Grinch storm that I talked about just a couple minutes ago. An inland or a lakes cutter means warmth. And hey, that could change. It's Friday, Thursday night, Friday morning. Maybe that storm doesn't bring in the warmth, but that's the signal right now is that it will. Here's the month of February so far, December. And it has been colder than average today, 15 out of 16 days, or 14 out of 15 days. And tomorrow will be below what's considered seasonable. So really 15 of 16. And then things will change for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that's something we're monitoring. Right now, we're sitting around 7.5, 7.6 degrees below average. Ridiculous. Just ridiculous how cold it's been. And for sustained cold right up until Thursday when everything changes. Gotta love it. Or hate it. I love the snow cover. My dog loves to play in the snow. I don't mind it at all. I don't like 0 wind chills, but I don't mind having some snow cover. So 27, 34, 44, 46, 55 with rain Thursday night into Friday morning. As long as that path of the track of that storm goes up through Syracuse or Buffalo, it's rain for us. Okay. Hey, that's subject to change. It's still out there 4 days, 5 days out. So, we'll monitor it. But most data points toward rain. So no green or no white Christmas in southeastern Connecticut. I don't like ice. That's the worst kind of storms. Oh, I agree. They're tough to clean up. They're tough to move. Yeah, it's no fun. I want to be at home. I want to be at home with the wood stove. I am heading home. Well, Aaron has fumble fingers today. I want to be home with the wood stove. I want to be home with the wood stove, and I'm going to go home pretty soon to the wood stove. And then she corrects it, of course. February question, bring it. I don't know what you're getting at there, Roger. We'll see. We will see. All right. Sometimes winters like this can show up like that in December, like it has been, and then just disappear. And maybe it turns mild and stays mild. Again, 30, 60, 90-day forecasts are just outlooks, and we just ride with them. There's your 10-day forecast. The Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday time period, I'll say it's subject to change. There's some signals of some mixed precipitation or snow, but it's not a strong enough signal to jump up and down about and get people too excited that we're going to get 2 inches of fluffy snow on Christmas Eve to make everything perfect. And that's the kind of Christmas Eve you like. I personally don't care about the weather on Christmas Eve anymore. I just want my 7 fishes. And we went through a planning stage on Saturday about the 7 fishes. Do you do the 7 fishes? We do the 7 fishes. And I'm telling you right now, here's what they're going to be. I digress, okay, because we can have fun and talk about other things besides the weather. Aaron's laughing at work. 7 fishes. We talked about shrimp cocktail, which is a given. Main course will be breaded cod with rich cracker crumb. It's the most delicious meal. All right. So we've got 1, 2. We will have caviar this year for the first time. I've never had caviar. We're going to do some raw oysters. Not a lot, just a few. Do people really sit down and have a lot of raw oysters? Isn't it like a 1 or 2, 3, and then you're kind of done? Yeah. We'll get the vinegar and the red hot to hide whatever flavor it has, right? That's only 4. And we're going to have baked stuffed clams because they're easy and they satisfy one of the 7 fishes. Lobster tail, but we're not going to do 4. It's expensive. Inflation. We're going to do 2 and cut them in half because you don't have to, eat so much that you're going to be bloated and feel gross, right? So we're going to do 2 bigger, larger lobster tails and cut them in half. That's 6. We're not doing steamers. I can't believe I can't remember the 7th fish. I can't believe I can't remember it. Shrimp, caviar, lobster tail, cod, oysters. It's Monday. I'm tired. Slept terribly last night. It happens. We enjoy your weather labs. Keith, thank you. I forgot to even say hello and welcome to the NBC Connecticut Storm Tracker Weather Lab. And I'll remember the other fishes. Chowder, family doesn't love chowder. I love chowder, but it's a hard sell, but that's a good idea. Thanks, Hank. Thanks, Joanne. I know I can't, it's gonna come to me. In fact, if I just keep talking, it'll probably come to me. 7 fishes. What am I forgetting? Baked stuffed clam. I got to do it again. Baked stuffed clams, lobster tail, caviar, raw oysters, cod. I forgot. I'll think of it. Oh, well. Aaron slept poorly last night, too. I think I was just distraught over the Patriots blowing that huge lead against the Buffalo Bills. And plus, my wife and I went to New York City and visited friends this weekend. Probably didn't sleep ideally. So, yeah, we're doing what we do. We're going to make it through this Monday, go to the gym, get a little workout in, feel good. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. So going back to the 10-day forecast, moderation. I should have practiced that this weekend. I met a family who used to live in Avon. Now they live in Philly. They were just sitting at I didn't go to SantaCon, by the way. I met up with college friends and we were having lunch, and next table over, these family from Avon. And it was kind of funny. They're like, Bob? And I'm like, hi. And my friends who were just laughing at me because it is what it is when you're on TV for 30 million years. So there's your fair weather and the moderating temperatures and that chance of a Grinch storm, the rain on Friday. And then right now the weekend and the winter solstice looks okay. Okay. Everything looks okay. A blizzard. LOL. I don't know what she's talking about. Or I don't know what Andre's talking about. Yeah, I'll think of the other fishes. Oh, well, that is going to be a wrap. I appreciate you stopping by. Put more comments in if you'd like. I'll try to answer as many as I can during the course of the day, and I'll be back tomorrow. And we'll keep you up to date on the wind chills, of course. If you're stepping out, you want to dress warmly. You want to monitor this Friday system because it can change. Weather changes. Right now, it looks pretty warm, 55, and wet, which is such a departure from the entire month of December so far. So that's kind of interesting for sure. And with that, we'll say I hope everybody has a great Monday and appreciate you stopping by. Love the interaction. So have a great day, everybody.